Hello, I am so excited to have you here with me today. Welcome to Personal Finance with Darcy, where we talk about money. And so I have a nickname for you. It is Wealth Builders. And so you are a wealth builder because you are here and you are watching and you are caring about building your finances and laying out the groundwork for you accomplishing your financial dreams. And so because I'm going to put some money in your pocket, the least you could do is to pretty please like and subscribe to my channel because I'm putting money in your pocket, and each video you watch is going to give you more and more money. So you are welcome, and I'm saying that in advance. Anyway, so really today we are going to talk about the Discover It card versus the Chime card, and which card is the best card to get for new credit card holders. So you probably heard a lot about the Discover It secured card. You probably have. Maybe not so much about the Chime credit card, maybe not. And so I'm here to just compare, contrast both of them, give you the perks of one, give you the perks of the other, and kind of just talk about the key differences between them. And just to give you a heads up, I had the Discover It secured card myself, so I might be a little biased in my review, but I definitely want to give you a full picture of both cards and then kind of let you make the choice in terms of which one's better for you in your particular situation, because everybody is different. Everybody needs certain things or wants certain things over others, and so really hopefully you can hear all the benefits and choose from there. But before I fully jump into it, I really need to shout out my best friend Weeble over here, and they are giving away 4 free stocks just by opening up an account and depositing $100. So Weeble is a broker that allows you to invest and trade stocks, and so they are just offering a great deal right now, and you can use the link below in order to get your 4 free stocks. So yes, just wanted to tell you about that because it is important now more than ever to start investing in yourself, investing in your future. Whether that's real estate, whether that's stocks, whether that's owning your own business, it's important to start getting invested today. So first things first, I'm going to talk about the Discover It secured card. So as it relates to the Discover card, by and large, Discover has great customer service. So anytime that you call them up and you're like, hey, I got an issue with my card, I got something wrong, they are going to answer your questions. They are going to 24/7, they're going to be able to address your concerns, which is really, really nice. As it relates to your FICO score, you are able to access that information for free, and they break down what your score is, why your score is the way it is, and how you can improve your score. And this is for free, which is really, really nice because other credit card companies don't offer that much detail, and they might offer your credit score given by another company and not your FICO score, which is used by 90% of companies that actually pull your credit to see how good it is. So FICO scores is really important, not those other scores that you might see. FICO score is important, and so Discover allows you free access to that. What's also nice is just their security features. So let's say your social security card is showing up on the dark web. Somebody's using it, somebody's trying to open up accounts in your name, they're trying to do something under your name. For free, Discover will alert you and say like, oh, hey, somebody's using your security card number. Somebody's trying to open up accounts under your name. Is that you? Is that you? Who is that? Who is that doing that? And so Discover will let you know that. And those are free features offered. Now, as it relates to the particular secured card, the secured card does have a security deposit, which basically means that you give Discover $200 of your own money and say, okay, this is going to be my security deposit, which means that Discover gets to keep that money to the side if you decide you're not going to pay your bills, if you decide you're not going to pay on time as well. They can hold that over your head and say like, I'm not going to give you this money back because you showed poor spending habits. And so that's something that I would say is a drawback compared to Chime, which I'll get into a little bit later, is that they do have a security deposit and you have no access to that money for at least 6 months, and you have to show that you have really good payment history and you can pay your bills on time. Also, with the Discover It card, your first late payment, Discover will forgive it, but if you continuously have late payments, they're going to charge you interest. They're going to charge you interest, and typically their interest, I believe, is anywhere between, I would say, 12% to 25%. Honestly, it just depends on what rate they decide to give you, but the interest can be pretty high and it can definitely add up. And the way that you get interest attached to a payment is if you don't pay your bill on time. So if you have 100% payment history, then you won't have to worry about the interest rate. Like, I haven't had to worry about the interest rate because I've paid every single bill on time. where it becomes a problem is if you have one late payment, that 15-20% interest is going to hit your account balance, and then it's going to add up, and it's going to add up until maybe you won't be able to pay it off, or you'll need to do maybe a couple of side hustles. You can watch my video on side hustles here, but you're just going to be in a lot more precarious, I don't know if that's the right word, situation. So it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good, the situation you're in, if you have a lot of credit card debt. And so you could, even with a secured card, you could accumulate a decent amount of credit card debt if you don't pay your card on time. And so with the security deposit, with giving them that initial $200, they feel more secure about allowing you to have that as your credit limit. So again, with having the Discover card, still credit utilization is really important. So if you don't know what credit utilization is, that's how much you borrow versus the max you can borrow. So if you give, in a Discover It secured card, if you give them $200, that's your credit limit. And you can only use, or you should only use 30% of that credit limit, okay? And I personally, my rule of thumb is to only use 10% of my credit limit. So that means 10%, that means you would only, if you had $200 as your credit limit, you would only be spending $20 from that $200 in a given month. And so when I had my Discover It credit card, I was spending $20, $10, just like small payments showing that I was able to pay off my bill on time. And it's just showing a history that you can pay off your bills on time, which is really, really important to credit card companies. Now, let's say if you want to actually spend more money on your card, then you should give them more in terms of that security deposit. I personally didn't want to give them more money. I believe I upped it from $200 to $500 so I could use $50 in terms of how much money I could borrow, but definitely I didn't use a lot. And so when it came to how much overall your max credit limit can be on a Discover It secured card, is $2,500. So that means $250 would be the max I would suggest you spend on a secured card if you decide on that $2,500 credit limit. But that's a lot of upfront money that you're giving Discover when you don't even know if, I don't know, something crazy could happen that could keep your money. I didn't want that to happen in my case, and so definitely I gave them, I believe, $200 to start off, and I showed great payment history, and then they upped my credit limit on their own. Another benefit that Discover has is that you are able to have cash back. Yes, cash back. So you can get 2% cash back on restaurants and at gas stations. And so the competitor that I'm about to mention, Chime, it doesn't really have cash back features like a Discover It card has. So Discover definitely has a leg up as it relates to the cash back features. Another added benefit to Discover is that 8 months in, after you've had that secured card, they're like, maybe because of payments on time, maybe I'll switch your secured card to an unsecured card. And so they do that themselves, and they are willing to upgrade your card. But in my opinion, I think that there might be another card that might be a little bit better. So we'll see. I'll talk about Chime in a bit, but those are definitely some perks as it relates to Discover. So definitely as it relates to what it's really, really good at, it's really, really good at security and giving you that FICO score. And then it's somewhat comparable on the other features. But the thing is, Discover compares itself to other traditional banks when it raves about how good it is. And when you start comparing it to online banks, that's when you really see like, oh, okay, like maybe Discover can step it up a bit, you know, and add some more features to the consumers to make it a better deal. Which personally, I think, in my opinion, Discover It has had dominance in terms of the best card or the best secured card for too long. And I think that there are some other online banks stepping up, which brings me to Chime. Quick dance break. Now let's get into it. So Chime has a really great secured card, and so they have an amazing credit card building program, and so I'll break down some of those features. So with the Chime credit card, there's no hidden fees, there's no account fees, there's no maintenance fees, there's no hidden fees whatsoever. Versus the Discover It card, there could be some fees if you have some late payments, which brings me to, in addition to the Chime card, there is no interest. There is no interest fees. So let's say by chance you have a late payment, some kind of way you have a late payment with Chime. They're not going to charge you a fee for not paying your bill on time. In fact, they will help you pay your bill on time. So Chime has a safer credit building feature which allows you to give Chime the ability to pay your bills for you on time. So no longer do you have to worry about payment dates like you would on a Discover It secured card, but Chime will take care of it for you. You can see the payment due dates on your account, but they will take care of that hassle for you. In addition to Chime having no interest rate, no hidden fees, and Chime paying your bills for you as it relates to the security deposit. And I say security deposits in quote because you can access that money right when you give it. And really with Chime, you have to have a spending account, but you would transfer your money from the spending account to the credit card building account. And so that would act in a sense as your credit limit, but you can access all of that money in it, and you wouldn't have to wait, or you wouldn't have to give Chime your money and have it sit somewhere. No, you can access it right away. And so Chime definitely has a lot of those benefits. So that's basically breaking down the perks of the Chime card as it relates to the credit building program, but I didn't even talk about the really, really good bank account that's offered through Chime. It has a lot of perks like no overdraft fees, a spot me feature where it'll give you cash if you don't have that money. And so there's a lot of good benefits of having the spending account. So overall, Chime has a lot of good features and it makes it very accessible. Even they send text messages with emojis telling you your account balance, which is really nice and cool. And Discover It hasn't gotten that tech savvy yet. And so definitely those are the pros of the Discover It credit card and then the pros of the Chime card. I know this is a lot of information. I am almost done. So yes, so as it goes for security, I would give the win to Discover. Now let's talk about customer service. So Discover, again, has been around for a long time, is 100% US based. So I would give the win to Discover for customer service, but Chime hasn't had a long time to really build up their customer service, but by large, like you can access Discover, call them anytime, and they will answer. So the win to customer service goes to Discover. As it relates to access to your FICO score, again, the win goes to Discover. You can access your FICO score, you can access the credit score breakdown, you can be like, okay, this is how much is influenced by my credit history, this is how much is influenced by the credit mix, credit utilization. You can know all of that breakdown because Discover provides that for you in a very clear format. As it relates to interest rate, I would have to give this win to, by far, I would have to give this win to Chime because Chime does not charge interest, whereas Discover does. And so while they'll let that first payment go, if you have more late payments, then you're gonna have to pay interest on that. And so with Chime, you don't have to pay interest on those late payments. You don't really, hopefully, even have to have a late payment. As it comes to the payment process, I would give that win to Chime because they have a safety builder program where you can just honestly just give over control of paying your bills to Chime and they'll pay your bills on time for you. Versus Discover, you have to make sure you check that payment date. You have to look at your account balance. You have to look at your statement balance. You have to manage all of those different balances and make sure you're paying the correct balance off. Now, as it relates to just overall you're building up your credit, I would give the win to Chime because you have more possibility of reducing your credit score with Discover than you have with Chime. Because with Discover, they report your credit utilization. With Discover, you have to pay your bills on time. But with Chime, they pay your bills for you and you do not have to even worry about credit utilization because they don't report that back to the main credit agencies because it changes every month based off how much you transfer from your spending account to your overall credit account. When it comes to cash back, Discover wins by far and me. You can get 2% cash back on groceries and on restaurants with the Discover card versus the Chime card, which I couldn't find any information on cashback. So if it's very hidden, it seems like it's not as good as the Discover. So cashback win goes to Discover. As it relates to your security deposit, which is another important feature, that win goes to Chime because you can access your security deposit right away with Chime versus Discover, they're gonna hold that money. And if you don't pay your bills on time, they might keep that money. So by large, it means Chime wins for security deposit. So I just mentioned 8 different pros and cons of each one, and basically Chime had 4, Discover had 4. So really hearing all of the pros and cons, it really is up to you. Like, what are you looking for in a credit card? Do you want like the cash back, the nice rewards, and all that fancy stuff? Or do you want the security of knowing that Chime will handle paying your bills on time for you, will handle, like, if you miss a payment, they'll take care of it. So it's just about what you're looking for really in a credit card. I hope you learned a lot from this video. I hope you're able to take decisive action and definitely use my referral links below. For the Discover It card, you can receive $50 credit to your account, and then for the Chime card, you can get $75 if you open before January 7th, 2021. So yes, both cards are offering bonuses, so definitely use my referral links below and get that free money. Free money, nice money, ay, 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 ay. So yes, please check that out. Till next time, stay building.